right, ladies and gentlemen, I finally have to confess, I realized it myself. I've gained some serious muscle with kettlebells. For those of you who have been following my work for quite a while now, you know that I've switched to Lebe Marquardt's 2 bells overhead philosophy. There's a couple of videos about that philosophy that you can check out on this channel. It's going to change your body. It's going to change your physique. It's just such a powerful mantra to live and train by. This incredible muscle growth, these exercises that really blew up my muscles are so powerful that they need to be shared. I've tried a couple of variations and combinations, and now something dawned. I had one powerful realization that I also want to share in this video. And if you're over 40 and you want to become strong, fit, and lean without going to the gym twice as fast, download my free ebook in the first link in the description. All right, so here we are. I'm planning to record all of my workouts now as my Road to Master of Sport International class. I don't know why I pronounce it like that, but it just sounds like this. Master of Sport International class. I record all of these workouts. I'm going to put them in a folder, and then I'm going to release them step by step, or maybe just do these reaction videos because I want to see my way and I want to film my way to success. I know I'm going to get Master of Sport. I know I'm going to get the MSIC as well. And just for you to understand, Master of Sport in a snatch in the professional divisions means with my body weight, I have to do 106 reps in 10 minutes with one arm switch. And for Master of Sport International class, I have to do 139 with one arm switch in 10 minutes, according to the IKO rules. I warm up to bring the body temperature up. I mobilize according to the ramp protocol. And then part of my warm up is this, it's not a trifecta, but trifecta sounds so great. It's the push up, the pull up, the dip, and the body weight squat. So it's the 4 horsemen of the body weight exercises. And what I always do after I did the ramp protocol is I do 10 push-ups, 10 body weight squats, 10 pull-ups, and 10 dips. And I do 5 sets of these. And one thing that I realized after my competition on Saturday, which was last week, or 2 weeks ago, I think it's last week, or already last week, I realized that after I jumped back to my original weights with the 2 bells overhead stuff, I had to drop the weight and I had to drop the reps. And I reached out to Levi. I told him, bro, is that normal? And he said, yeah, he felt that too. And I think after a competition where you require a lot from your body, it's also in the literature, but if you feel it, it makes more sense. You have to cut back and then get that slow way back in. And so I did my first workout with these 5 sets of these 4 exercises of the 4 horsemen, and I already felt gassed in the 3rd or 4th set, when a couple of weeks ago I felt so strong that I didn't even feel these exercises. But now I realized, all right, I feel them again, which is great. And this is my second workout after the competition, and it felt way better. I was way stronger. And now, it gets serious. So the reason why I put on the belt, what does the belt do? A lot of people think when it comes to kettlebell training, they think it's for the back or to protect the lower back. No, it is not. It has nothing to do with the lower back and has everything to do to support the rack position. And I'm going to explain this in a second when you see it in action. And by the way, this is custom made for me by Arseny Zhernakov, 32kg.pro. So 32kg.pro. That's his website, and you can get one of these custom belts. I love them. I wear them so often, and they're very high quality. So here we go. I'm grabbing the weights slowly but surely, and I'm using the Enon method. So Enon means every 90 seconds, all 90 seconds. The idea is I have a certain set of volume, certain set of exercises and reps and weights. And my idea is to make sure that I put 80% of the volume that I do on a particular 2 bells overhead workout, that at least 80% goes overhead. So I start with the heavy jerk. And I have to tell you that my technique has really improved. I'm much more explosive. I handle the weights better. And see, that's the reason why I have the belt. When I have the elbows close to my body, that special belt supports the rack position so I can rest the arms a little bit more. And then I walk around until the time is over. And the good thing about the Enon method is you have 90 seconds, right? So you do that set of jerks and then you wait until the next 90 seconds begin. However, once you get comfortable, I had one workout where I finished it like 5 minutes earlier. If you get comfortable, you start earlier. So it is open-ended. It's not a requirement to rest. If you feel strong enough, you go back at it. And so I was waiting here, and what happens? It's the same thing. Boom, the jerk, right? And it's 6 reps. I had to cut down with the reps, like I mentioned, because I'm coming from post-competition. And I knew today, all right, I got to cut back. I'm not going to pick up the 32s, and I'm not going to use my usual reps. I have to listen to my body. And I'm really happy with my jerk technique. So really making sure that overhead top fixation is really strong as I'm dropping into the second dip. This requires lots and lots and lots of practice. And I think I'm getting a little bit better. So here we go. Now come the double 24s. And this is one of the exercises that I really came to love. I call it the thrust and jerk. So a thruster is basically a squat and a press. So again, bells go overhead, right? But then, once the bells come back into the rack position, we don't rest, but we do another rep to bring them overhead. So here I squat, they go overhead, back into the rack position, and boom, back overhead. And with this weight, I intentionally don't want to use the belt because I'm telling my body, listen, you're supposed to go raw with double 24s. Unless you're doing lots and lots and lots of reps. But in this case, this is the thrust and jerk. So again, you see, we bring the bells overhead. And you can now think, all right, Gregory, why don't you just strict press it for a couple of sets? Well, if you strict press heavy weights, then you're gassed out immediately. And once you're gassed out and you feel that special fatigue setting in, that sets in when you put lots of weights overhead, it's just hard to describe. You have to experience it. Then you're gassed out and then you feel it after when the workout progresses. You won't be able to put in more work. You won't be able to put in more volume. And just in case if you're wondering what kind of kettlebell I'm using, it's the Pro Kettlebell by my friend Nikolai Puchlov, proudly made in the USA. Check the link in the description to get your Pro Kettlebell right now. And don't forget to use our code Lebe to get 10% off your next purchase. So what I do then is I'm using the jerk to push more weights, and I'm using a thruster to push more weights. So I'm using my full body. This is a very important distinction. It's not just strict pressing. I'm using my full body to bring these weights overhead. And so again, boom, here we go. I start a couple of seconds earlier, and I think after that first round, I felt so strong that I thought, you know what, let's move a little bit faster. But I still kept it in mind. I know I'm coming from post-competition, so my mind wants to move a little bit further, but my body is still telling me, Gregory, relax. We can't go that fast yet. There's always a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth workout, right? These workouts are coming, so I don't have to sprint to get the trophy. I'm taking my time. And so when I sit down like this is always a sign that the fatigue is catching up. There are workouts where I don't sit down not a second. I'm just pacing like a wolf on a prowl in the gym. But when I sit down, that's always I always realize like, wow, this is setting in. It's setting in. I feel it. So now the second set, it goes back to the jerk again. And as you can see, I have a couple of seconds on the clock, but I start earlier. So again, and I'm trying to perfect my technique. I just love the jerk. I love that exercise. I've fallen in love with it so hard. This is so powerful. So here we have the same concept. As you can see, it's again the thrust and jerk, and here I have 50 seconds remaining on the clock, but I'm telling myself, you know what, let's push through. But intentionally knowing I have decreased the amount of reps. So it's same clean and thrust and jerk. So then we have the second round. So again, it's jerk, right? So again, I'm able to bring lots of weights overhead. And then here is one important powerful caveat that I want to show you that really enables you to push lots of weights overhead, and that is the double half snatch. Now, again, here it is, the exercise. You are using your legs, but still the weights end up overhead. And I'm using these wristbands because when I do the double half snatch with double kettlebells, I sometimes feel that the forearm bone crashes a little bit in the handle, and I don't like that feeling, especially when I use heavier bells. So that's one of those exceptions where I'm using a wristband. Normally I don't wear them. So then here we go. This is, I think, one of the powerful exercises that will change your physique most definitely. So backswing, immediately back up. So what this requires is lots of tension. You'll feel your back, you'll feel your biceps, and at the end, where does it land? Overhead. So chest and shoulders are activated. So again, full body movements with making sure that the bells rest overhead. And I started with double 20s. And now they feel light. I'm currently, when I'm at top form and I'm a little bit into my workout regime, then I'm using double 26, and I think I'm only an inch before using double 28s for a double half snatch. And I'm 71 kg body weight. I'm a lightweight guy, but I actually push these heavy weights. So that's the final set. So the same thing of that round, we have the jerk, 2 sets of 6 reps with the Enon method, and you can start earlier. And then I have 2 sets of the double half snatch where I do 6 reps currently. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Every single exercise, every single rep finishes overhead. Not one rep lands down on the floor or is at hip or chest level. No, everything ends up overhead. And I thought, you know what, let's go a step further. I tried this, and let's do 4 sets of jerk. In the second round, I was completely gassed. So you have to somehow find a way to snatch or swing weights overhead to still get the benefit of being able to stop in the top fixation, which grants these powerful changes to your physique, but not engaging too intensively so that you will experience this kind of fatigue setting in. And how do I finish? With my signature move that I have fallen in love with as well, the snatch. And I normally do it with a 32 or 34, but since it's post-competition and since I'm still, having that little bruise and cut on my palm, I'm using the 24. And so again, I'm finishing with the weight overhead. And this is the biggest takeaway that I want you to get from this video. Bringing 2 bells overhead, and now it's 1 bell at the end. That's the major key, at least when it comes to building solid muscle, making sure that your muscle explodes with kettlebells. And when I reached out to Levi and said, Levi, I feel these effects. My physique has changed drastically. He said, wait until you're 6 to 8 months in. So I can't wait. This type of workout, if you're fit for it, if you've built the requirements up to a level where you're able to move these kinds of weights for 40 minutes or 30 minutes, your body is going to turn into a machine where people will accuse you that you're taking drugs. I couldn't even believe it that people are actually now accusing. I get these accusations as well. And I'm like, bro, are you out of your mind? If you look at me, yes, you see it, but when you look at me in real life, you see, all right, the dude can do some work, but I don't look like I'm on drugs. Look at the dudes who are on drugs and look at what they look like. Michelin man, right? Pumped up shoulders, big biceps, big quads, right? And looking the bodybuilder physique, which from that standpoint where I am right now, I'm like, I don't feel this anymore. I don't vibe with it. No, I'm gonna look like a workhorse. Not a blown up horse that just came out of a science lab, right? So I hope that gives you some value. 2 bells overhead. This is the mantra that I live by right now, and I'm not gonna stop anytime soon. And I think it prepares me well for my competitions that are ahead of me. So here's the next thing that you have to do. Clean and press that like and subscribe button. Share with a friend who's also interested in kettlebells. And if you made it this far, download my free ebook in the first link in the description called the Kettlebell Code. If you're over 40, 50, or 60, you don't have a lot of time, but you still want to take care of your fitness. This is where the kettlebell comes in. And 2 bells overhead, that's maybe a little bit far-fetched for you right now. You got to get started with the basics just like I had to. And once you get them down pat, boy, oh boy, these gains are waiting for you. So if you're looking for a head start, download my free ebook right now in the first link in the description. It's 100% free.